That's what to.
Oh, hey everyone, welcome. It's week 6, LEG TV, your host, the commish, John David Brake here, breaking it down for all you fantasy football maniacs, and boy, are things getting interesting. Here in the LEG, we got a lot to talk about. We got a new manager spotlight segment coming up soon, but let's see how week 5 shook out. For the LEG, let's start with the big win from Adam Poopy Boobies Barris, getting the big dub, 215 to 129 over Plow. He did get a nice spot there, getting 58 points from DJ Moore. That certainly helps with 3 tutties. But he got some contributions again. Like I said last week, Patrick Mahomes was set to at least get 25 points that week. And George Kittle, all he does is score touchdowns. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns, 67 yards against the Dallas Cowboys on that Sunday night beatdown, which was absolutely amazing to watch. Plow still can't believe he lost last year. Not a lot of contribution from Lamar Jackson, unfortunately, for Plow, which really kind of set him back and gave Barris the victory for his first win of the season. How about Modelo Virus moving up to third place, 4-1, 194 to 176. This was my game of the week, beating Dahlgren, who is in injured reserve hell right now. Poor guy. Modelo Virus got big outputs. Jamar Chase finally had his breakout game with a healthy-looking Joe Burrow, putting up 57 points. And then Jalen Hurts, as I mentioned, always a weekly stud, gets 32 points there. Not a lot of help from Ramondre Stevenson, who is on the worst offense in the league on the Patriots. But, Dahlgren did have some help from Travis Etienne, who finally broke out and had a big game, 38 points, 35 from Josh Allen, and even DeAndre Hopkins. Turning back the dial, getting 24 points. But the big story for Dahlgren is he is losing his number 1 overall draft pick. One of the best receivers in the National Football League, Justin Jefferson, is going to be on IR, and he could miss up to 6 weeks. Here's a big win for the Red Hot Jabrili Peppers, coming from behind, beating this was actually a blowout from the beginning. So, Pretty Little Liars, not a lot of help. Kyle Pitts actually scored 15 points, which I couldn't believe. And Raheem Mostert finally gets some action there. We'll get to why. And looks like another injured reserve spot for Anthony Richardson, the fragile QB for the Colts, is going to miss some time. He's going on the IR. He's going to miss at least 4 games. No word yet if he needs surgery, but Red Hot Jabrili Peppers were moving with Tyreek Hill, 37 points in that game. Jared Goff at 36. And Devin A-Chain, the explosive rookie, scored 25 points before leaving with a knee injury. He is now on injured reserve. So we'll have to wait and see. Could be back after the bye week, around week 11. Nickel to nickel loses again to the only undefeated team in the league. Mick Barton Cook Goose 5-0. This was the only close game, 155 to 141. Dan did have Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor back, but only got 25 points combined from the both of them. Most of Kupp doing the work there, but QB in Washington, Howell, put up some really big numbers. That was surprising. And Mick Barton, Stephon Diggs showed up, 26 points for him. And then David Montgomery, who is the bell cow back there in Detroit, 22 points. How about Trevor Lawrence? Not really putting up that great a game, but he still won. Last undefeated team in the league. Dan, speaking of David Montgomery, Dan started Jamar Gibbs, who was ruled out. Okay, so now Dan is in last place, and well-deserved. And because these graphics are time-consuming, here's the rest of the scores. Fields of Gold got the win. 2 former Hoffa champions, the last 2 actually battled it out, and Nick gets the better of Austin Stoll, winning that game. And look who else got on the win column there. Insane Ground Posse with a big win over Anu, who was dealing with bye week issues, especially at the quarterback. Joe gets the win, 178 to 121. There you have it. There's the scores. And as I mentioned, this week it got even worse for injuries. We've already seen the likes of Mike Williams and J.K. Dobbins go out for the year. But now we got some IR spots for some very big players. Justin Jefferson, Anthony Richardson, Devin Achane, Travis Kelce is hurt. So we are dealing with injuries here. It's at an all-time high. Will we see turf in the NFL? That is the big issue. Speaking of surf and turf, please welcome this week's Manager Spotlight for LEG.
Let me read you a text. Hold on. You ready?
Okay.
He's going to be so
McCready?
mad. From David McCready.
I knew it was going to be from McCready. Please put it on the show. Put it on the show.
Says, effing Dahlgren meets a golf legend with that glove on.
Dude, that is so good.
Oh, yes.
That is so good.
I thought that was hilarious. That was pretty sweet though. How was Jim Furyk? Is he good?
Yep, he's really good. He's a down-to-earth guy. He was telling all these stories about the Ryder Cup, which was a couple weeks ago, and he was one of the captains. And the guys were just afterwards, they were just getting blitzed. So you had like Justin Thomas and who was the other one? Justin Thomas and Patrick Cantlay were just getting fucking smashed playing beer pong after they lost in the place that they stayed. And then Patrick Cantlay went and got married the next day in Rome.
Wow.
Yeah. And apparently there was just a lot of chirping when they were there. People were basically being like, hey, fuck you Americans, and like all this stuff, like the colonies suck and all these things.
Wow.
Great stuff.
Those limey bastards. Well, welcome to the show, Mr. Dahlgren. I thought I wanted to share that with you. Thank you for coming on all the way from sunny San Diego, California. Mr. Dahlgren, the reason I brought you on is that obviously for whatever reason, feeling the pinch of the injury bug this season. How do you feel about the injuries to your team right now? Where's your headspace at?
I'm
Okay. So it's like abandoned ship already, huh?
Not good. Not good. I mean, I'm legitimately at a point now where if I can get a strong lower tier wide receiver one and maybe another startable asset, I might consider trading Jefferson, because I just I want to win now, and I've got too many injuries. I've got James Conner goes down. I got JJ goes down. I lose a linebacker like Quay, who's been incredible this season, who you completely were against.
I was.
I already lost my tight end. I don't even know. Let me look at this lineup. Is there anyone left?
Well, I mean, how does it feel to be the number one scoring team in the league and still be in what, 5th place?
It feels normal. It's pretty much par for the course.
Yes. You always have high scoring teams. That
always get beat.
And then you just somehow find a way. I guess so. The injuries obviously are not so great. So do you think trading Jefferson is going to be your key to sustaining success and squeaking into the playoffs? Or do you just at this point, is the strategy just try to gut it out, finish top 6, and then hopefully your players are healthy by the end of the year?
You know, it's a toss-up. It really is. So it would have to be trading Jefferson to a playoff team where they can stash him away and know that they can use him to make their deep run, which is a risk. But my team has no hamstrings left between
no pun intended.
between Evans and Jefferson. Connor's got no knees. Looks like
Ooh.
Ford is hurt again. So it's that or try to get it out. But, you need a couple players who are capable of that 30-point week who are not quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And aside from the fluky Etienne and Walker, I might get it from one of them, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I would highly encourage you to keep your chin up, Mr. Dahlgren. You got a solid team. Injuries are part of fantasy football. It happens to the best of us. Who knows what can happen? You could have a bright, shining star pop out of there and find yourself in the playoff mix. I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you about right now where we're at in the LEG. What is your biggest surprise for the top team? Like, what team surprises you the most in a positive way?
Surprises me. Well, the team that surprises me the most, and I gotta pull up is easily Mick's team. The fact that he's able to run with both Diggs and Allen, I don't know how he drafted to get that stack.
I know.
It's horrifying. I
know.
He still needs to figure out his running back situation. Call me. But I think Mick has been the star, and he's gonna smoke me this week. I mean, he's gonna completely blow me away.
This was one of the games at the beginning of the year or after the first week. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like a really good game. And yeah, I don't know. It could go either way. We'll get to the rundown here pretty soon. Now, which team are you surprised most by that they're not doing as well as they should?
That's easily working from Mahomes.
Yeah, right. Barris's team who just went off last week.
Yeah. I mean, Jacobs is going to come back to form. I would be a little less concerned. I think he had some tough matchups, and they're kind of getting in the groove with their new situation. I think Nakua will be fine post what's his nuts coming back.
The guy that looks like you, Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, except athletic. Moore is going to be, I think, a firehouse for the rest of the season, which is a weird thing to say for anything that comes out of Chicago.
Yeah.
So I think he's got a nice team. Again, needs to figure out his RB2, but that team should be a playoff team coming from the bottom.
We'll see. That's what happened to Joe last year. He was hovering in Hoffa territory, then just went on a tear and ended up taking the whole damn thing. All right, Mr. Dahlgren, are you ready to do the rundown to see if you can outpredict the commish and get your opinions on this week's matchups? You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Of course, we start with my match because it's the top for Yahoo. Every time I pull this up, I'm taking on the former 3-time champ, but last year's Hoffa champ, Austin Stoll, who is looking like he might be the first repeat Hoffa champion since James Yarnell. Starting at 1-4, Yahoo's projecting me to win 163 to 150. Not a lot of bye week issues for me this week. Who are you taking?
This is interesting because I think you've got a great team. I also don't hate Austin's team.
I know.
I mean, I look for those individuals that can go off, and Stroud's had good quarterback play. Devontae Adams is impenetrable. If that even makes sense. I don't think it does.
Can't
is
penetrate
Eckler back?
Nope.
Is Eckler back or no?
Eckler's back.
I think this is going to be a really close matchup, and he's definitely got you at tight end as well. The key here is ultimately I'm going to pick your team, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than they project. The key is going to be if Burrow actually plays football like he did last week, and if Tyreek goes off, and if Burrow doesn't actually play football, and if Tyreek doesn't go off, I think he can pull it out. But I'm still picking you for the win.
I agree. I was looking at this. I'm like, I've been in this scenario before where it's a team that's only one win, and then all of a sudden they get their healthy guys back. But just like you said, Austin Eckler, I think he's back full strength this week, and this is my upset pick of the week. I hate picking against me, but I think Austin's going to take it this week and get his second win of the season. But like you said, I think it'll be very, very, very close. Again, that depends on really just Tyreek Hill and Joe Burrow. Will they put up the same numbers they did last week? I don't think so. I'm still on the fence starting Burrow. I might start Jared Goff. We'll see.
your player to go off, by the way, I think your highest scoring player this week is going to be Williams with the Rams.
Oh, okay. Kyron Williams. He's that was a nice pickup. So definitely, I hope so. I definitely hope so. What about this was my surprising team for being not so great this year. Dan Nickel, who is also a former 3-time champion, not getting off to a great start. Granted, he did draft Cooper Kupp and Jonathan Taylor. They're back. They both are back. Cooper Kupp actually made an impact. Taylor didn't, but he'll obviously ramp up. Taking on Dr. Anurag Reddy. Yahoo has a projected win of 160 to 142 in favor of the Doc. Do you like Dan's team with the guys coming back, or is this the Justin Herbert, Christian McCaffrey show for Anu?
I honestly think this is going to be another close matchup. Now, I'm still going to pick Dr. Love, and that's primarily because I don't think Taylor is fully embedded in the offense yet. I don't think it's going to look the same out of the running back room, and it shouldn't, because Moss has played incredible.
Yes.
So I do think Anurag takes it by, call it 15.
The Doc. Yeah, the Doc needs a win. He's on the slides and starting 3-0. All right, let's go to your match, okay? This is still my game of the week, okay? The undefeated Cook Goose for everyone, Mick Barton, taking on yourself, the Clock Gobblers. And as we mentioned, injuries have not been your friend, especially for this week. We're losing 2 major impact players in Jefferson and James Conner. Yahoo, again, has another 10-point margin of victory for this one, leaning towards the undefeated Mick Barton. How do you feel about your chances this week?
Not good. Very not good. I honestly think this will be my lowest scoring week of the season. I think I might throw up a 120 burger, feeling super negative. And I mean, it's a combination of the matchups, and I mean, Ford going against San Francisco defense, that's going to be terrible. Hopkins is fluky at best. Drake London, same thing. I think he's got a lot of players primed to go off. Breida is a turd, so we'll see what happens out of his RB2 spot, but I still think he takes me down by a minimum of 20 points.
A 20-point? You know what? I'm going to agree with you on this one because of pretty much everything you said. You know what? You've got the advantage in the running back room. That is for sure. But he's got the biggest advantage at tight end, and I like his flex a little bit better. Mark Andrews at the tight end. Now, granted, Mark Andrews isn't like, setting the world on fire, but he's still one of the top 5 tight ends in the league. So I am also going to take Mick to go 6-0. 6-0. Which is good because every time I pick you to win, you lose.
I know. Definitely a world where Dick's going to win.
I know. It's hopefully I can prevent that from happening. So here's another matchup. It's actually predicted to be very close. We talked about Adam Barris's team working for Mahomes, projected to only win by 5 points over Fields of Gold. Nick Shook, who actually had some big production from Justin Fields now. Is it enough? Is his roster enough, especially with Travis Kelce not being healthy? We still don't know what's going on with that ankle. And they haven't won a game, I think, that Taylor Swift hasn't attended. So will Taylor Swift be in attendance? Will that make a difference? Who wins this week with Barris's seemingly stacked team?
Barris's team's going to smoke him. Mahomes is going to throw up 50 this week.
Against Denver?
He's definitely going to throw up 50. He's going to get another 45, 50 out of his wide receivers alone. This one's unfortunately not going to be close, and it's gonna hurt Nick because every time Fields throws a great pass, it's going to beat him more. So, this one's not going to be close. I'm going to call this a 30-point margin.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely taking Barris this week, who looks like you said, his roster looks really good. They're clicking finally. Got his first win last week and scored more points than anybody did this season. So this will be interesting. This is another really good matchup that's also close. This is the closest matchup of the week. 4-1, Modelo Virus taking on 3-2, second place runner-up, hilariously lost in the championship last year because somebody died and came back to life. David Plow, Jabel is getting the nod this week, and for good reason. He's Jamar Chase came out. He had his come out party last week and put up over 50 points.
Did you guys have scheduling issues for your come out parties? It wasn't overlapping on the same day, was it?
It was. His got overshadowed over mine, of course. But yeah, I mean, is Joe Burrow healthy enough to feed the ball to Jamar Chase? Because that player alone, in my opinion, is enough to give Jabel the win. What do you think?
You know, I think this is going to be a sad week because I don't think we're going to have a lot of close matchups. I think Medela Virus is going to smoke it this week, particularly with Addison's going to get more looks than he did before with JJ eating the turf. Neither team has any single running back who I think is even good, so that's going to be kind of a wash here. So then I just look to the wide receivers, and I mean, Chase, Addison, I see Addison doing better than Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kirk better than Woods, and the quarterback plays better. So I think this will be another 20-point advantage for the Virus.
Yeah, not a lot of close games this year. We've only had a couple really close games. Every game seems like it's a blowout. But yeah, you mentioned, anytime you're starting Ezekiel Elliott now in 2023, it's not a good sign. And you're right, Amon-Ra St. Brown is still kind of banged up. They don't even know if he got moved from doubtful to questionable, but that's like a doubtful questionable. You know what I mean? Like, he might be on a snap count. He's not as healthy as people think he is. So, and then obviously Garrett Wilson is suffering because Zach Wilson's the quarterback, but he put up 15 points last week against the Chiefs. So
he's not gonna take him there though. And there's a lot of weapons on Detroit nowadays. It's not like it was last season where he was just looking to St. Brown.
Right.
It's a good team. Weird.
That's very true. Now, and here's a question. You mentioned Addison. Who do you think benefits more from Justin Jefferson being absent, Addison or KJ Osborne?
Definitely Addison.
Addison? Okay.
Yeah, Addison already has shown more chemistry, I think, in the short period of time as a rookie. I think he's going to be pretty explosive there. And I think Osborne barely sees an uptick. Probably the person who gets those looks is going to be split between Addison and Hawkinson, and Hawkinson's going to get more involved. I don't know who has him, but
Plow has TJ Hawkinson, who Jabel's facing.
Okay.
Literally the matchup we're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, good on him, but still not going to win.
Yes, that's right. Actually, I think TJ Hawkinson is the number 1 overall tight end in fantasy football, surprisingly.
Yeah, tight ends suck. They might as well be defensive ends this season.
So, Mr. Dahlgren, living the good life out there in San Diego, playing golf with Jim Furyk. What is your bold prediction for this year's LEG Championship? Who is in it? Who's going to win it?
Who is in it? Who's going to win it? You know, it's a war of attrition, so it's hard at this point in time. But I like mixed team. I like mixed team because even if one individual goes down, he's got she doesn't have good depth. Gosh, I don't know.
He's got great depth. Oh wait, actually he doesn't.
I don't know. I think the Doctor and Mick are my 2 picks for the final.
Ooh. So Mick versus Anu, his first year in the league. Who would you take?
I'm gonna take Mick. I mean, I hate to pick the 5-0 team, but they're looking good.
5-0
the
for a
points
reason.
4 isn't there, but I still like it. I like the team. Yourself?
I will say the caveat to Mick's 5-0. He is only the 5th highest scoring team in the league, which should make you angry.
Yeah. Apparently that doesn't matter in fantasy.
Right.
Points.
I mean, I know Allen quit because he was whining about points, and I'm like, dude, go play best ball. This is not that week. Who cares if the Kansas City Chiefs score 1 billion points if they can't, if they lose 70-71, it's a loss. You know what I mean? That's what fantasy football is. All right, Mr. Dog. Thank you for coming on. I know you had to go. You got a busy day. It's only 8 o'clock or almost 9 o'clock there. Any exotic travels coming up?
San Francisco next week.
Ooh.
And
it's not exotic.
not that exotic. I don't think there's. Well, I have a trip. I have a flight that's planned to London in December. I don't know if I'll take it or not, but we will see. It's been the year of many miles. Marriott knows me.
No kidding. Awesome. Also, what's your take on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict?
Haven't heard anything about it. What's going on?
I don't know anything. I'm too busy playing golf with Jim Furyk in that club. Do you have a rebuttal to Mr. McCready?
No, I think that's so hilarious. No, I think that's right. But it's October, so it's Halloween season. You got to do something. Got to be memorable without taking your pants off on the course.
Like, I can't believe I played with this jackass with this skeleton glove on the course. I love it. Well, enjoy the rest of your beautiful day in sunny San Diego. Thank you for coming on the show this week.
See you guys.